Good day, folks. First of all, wish you all a Merry Christmas. Come the holiday season, come a good event and a good occasion to do something special here. So we are on Food Gastro. I thank Chef for inviting me here in the first place. We'll be doing a few short recipes that has a lot of history behind it.
So history as in how this recipe you used to make, because normally Christmas means people intend to think it's about plum cake or turkey or something like that.
Those are traditions, yes, but there are some forgotten traditions or traditions that are being forgotten these days of Anglo Indian households that used to make them back in the day. So my parents and my grandparents and their parents, they've passed on recipes in terms of either by showing them how to cook the dish or by old recipe books. And we continue to make them every December. So once the rains pass, once winter comes in, we sit down, call the family together. We have a good dinner. We have music playing, and we prepare these delicacies.
So you're going to play some music also for us, right?
Yes, I wish I could.
Okay. So what are we going to make today, Wayne?
So we'll be making four recipes that was passed on by different relatives of mine. The first one is a ginger wine, we call it.
Ginger wine,
It's called a wine, but it's not a wine.
My question is, it's alcoholic?
No, it's not alcoholic. We also call it OT, basically other things.
Okay, so basically people who don't consume alcohol, or for a kids or for a woman, somebody who don't consume alcohols,
yes.
for them
so
it's
just
made.
to keep them engaged and to keep them in the crowd, we prepare this kind of this beverage, and we serve it to them. It will look just like any other wine or any other distilled beverage, and
but
we serve it to them.
Spiced up.
Yeah, we add a little spices to it, some sugar, some chili, some cardamom, and ginger, predominantly ginger, so that it gives that kick while you have it. Also, now people prepare it not only for Christmas, but also now and then they prepare it, which helps in digestion.
Oh, okay.
And it's served as an aperitif. So basically, if you go to an Anglo Indian house who still prepares traditional food, the first thing they'll offer you is this, a glass of ginger wine, or OT they call it.
Okay.
So they give you a glass of OT, and after that,
ginger wine means are you going to do some aging process or something like that?
No, there's no aging process. It's just a liquid flavored with ginger and spices, which is reduced and sweetened. So that is another recipe which was passed on by my auntie to my father. It's a toffee which is made with condensed milk, sugar, and
what is called? What is the toffee name?
The toffee's name is called Russian toffee, although it has nothing to do with Russia. But then we call it Russian toffee. There's still no history behind it, but it was passed on by my auntie to my dad, and he keeps making it every year without fail. So even if he gets the mood to do it, even when it's not in December, he'll go down to the store, buy the ingredients, and he'll do it at home.
Oh, so Russian toffee. That's great. Okay. So that is the second recipe you're going to make.
That's the second, yeah.
Okay. So what's the third recipe?
The third recipe is similar to a pancake batter, but deep fried, using a special mold called a rosette mold. So it's called rose cookies or rose de coque.
Oh, so rose cookie means people would think that's kind of a cookie.
No, but this is not a cookie, although it's called a cookie. But it's basically batter which is which is smeared over a mold and then deep fried. So it's basically like a crisp which we make using the batter.
Okay, so it's not a cookie.
It's not a cookie. It's not a biscuit.
Okay.
So there's no dough involved in it. It's a batter.
Okay, it's a batter.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay.
So this recipe was given by my grandmother to my mother, and since she every year this is her responsibility. So it's a 2-day process. One day she takes out the rosette mold, which is made out of aluminum. She puts it in oil. She seasons it. She keeps it ready, and then the next day she makes the batter, allows it to rest. Batter is predominantly made with coconut milk and egg, and flour.
Okay.
And in addition, there's some vanilla, there's some sugar which goes into it. And she allows the batter to rest, and then she puts the karai, she switches on the karai, and then she starts frying. And at that time, you should be in our home. The aromas just fill the kitchen and fill the room, and it makes us want to go there and pick up one. But however, it's mother's kitchen, so she'll she's very strict and she doesn't give us until it is completely done.
She'll be like a guardian for that, right? Nice, nice. So that's the rose cookie. And what is the fourth recipe?
The last one is it's a small sweet dough pastry fritter.
Okay.
As I can say, we make this dough.
What is called?
It's called Kalkals, basically.
See, the names are quite exciting, you know. It's a rose cookie, but it's not a cookie. And it's a kalkal. I don't know where this name comes from actually. Why they call it as a kalkal?
To be honest, this is the only dish where I don't know where the name comes from, but it's been carried on and people have been calling this, from, I don't know, from
But
time
it's quite interesting,
gone.
no? We call it Russian toffee, but nothing to do with
Nothing to do with
Russia.
Russia.
And we call it as a cookie, but it's not a cookie.
I guess it's just names which people thought of and related it to something at that moment of time.
Okay.
And
okay.
it
Yeah.
carried
possibly,
on.
Possibly. Yeah.
So that's about it. So this kalkals is basically a sweet dough, enriched dough which we make with wheat flour, however.
Okay.
Not refined flour, but we make it with wheat flour. We add eggs to it, we add vanilla, and we add some coconut milk again to it. And we make this rich dough. And we form small spears, and using the back of a fork, we roll it into these cylinders having crevices in it.
Okay. Okay.
And then we switch on the oil, and just like how we fry any other sweet pastry dough or a savory pastry dough,
like samosas.
like samosas, we put the heat on low. We toss.
We'll allow the dough to cook.
Yeah, we allow the dough to cook so that when it's cooled and when you take it out to have it, you can literally not open it up, but you can see like someone has taken effort to roll it.
Okay.
So then what we do is either we serve it as it is, dust it with some icing sugar, or my dad, he loves doing this. He makes trickle sugar.
Yeah.
It's a trickle sugar, and he puts all this inside and then he mixes it. So
it
there's
looks
like a
also
sugar.
appetizing, right? It's like glacy, more than a powder
Yes,
sugar.
more than powder.
That's like a dry. This one is like more like it looks like a toffee, something which has been coated.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So this
Back home.
Superb. So I think these recipes and the history behind the Christmas and how we celebrate as far as India is concerned, especially in South India is concerned, even a lot of people intend to, as he rightly mentioned, start forgetting their recipes. Even it can be Anglo Indian cuisine or any cuisine for that matter. So these all the recipes have to be passed on. So that is the main motto of this show, and this is what we want to do. These forgotten recipes have to bring it to the limelight and have to be passed on to the next generation.
Yes, sir.
So
Certainly.
let's jump into the kitchen.
So we're going to bring 3.5 liters of water to a boil.
Okay. Normal water, huh?
Yeah, it's regular water to which we're going to be adding all the spices, and we're going to reduce it to 3/4 of the entire quantity.
Okay.
So first the main ingredient is ginger. So we're going to take 100 grams of ginger, put it in this mortar and pestle and crush it.
So how is the ratio works like? For how many liter of water, how many grams of ginger you going to put?
So usually at home we make it for 7 liters of water. We use about 200 grams, 250 grams of ginger.
Okay.
So it depends on how much you like the ginger, how strong you want your
Okay.
wine to be. So we're going to crush this up nicely so that all the flavors come out.
Okay.
So next I'm going to take a nutmeg. I'm going to crush it.
One whole nutmeg.
No, I'm going to use half of it.
Okay.
So as you can see, I'm keeping back half. I'm going to crush this up. Along with this, I'm going to take 5 pods of cardamom.
Okay.
2 or 3, about 4 cloves.
Okay.
And some cinnamon, like a good amount of cinnamon.
Okay.
Roughly about 2 to 3 grams. So this cinnamon adds that sweet touch to the entire beverage.
Okay.
I'm going to crush this. And of course, to give that extra kick, I'm going to add some chili. Yes.
Okay.
So
this is maybe a South Indian drink, I would say. Don't add curry leaf, no?
No curry. Actually, you know what? Anglo Indian cuisine, we use whatever we get in our hands. So
basically a substitute of some drink with what we have in hand, something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Or whatever we like.
Correct. So basically, Anglo Indian cuisine is a mixture. Keeping people who lived here, the British, the French people, the Portuguese people, we take their traditions and based on the ingredients that we can find here, we've altered the
recipes,
cuisine and recipes. Yeah.
Okay.
So as we move forward, you can see that this is the recipes will be very similar to recipes that you see in European cuisine.
Okay.
So that's about it.
So basically, the ingredient would be like different.
Yes. Only the ingredients would be based on what we can find locally.
Okay.
So now that we've added all these ingredients, we have to allow this to boil.
For how long?
For till it reduces to 2/3.
2/3.
Sorry, 3/4 of it.
3/4. Means like if you put 1 liter of water.
We should reduce it to about 750 ml.
750 ml. Okay.
So once it reaches 750 ml, we'll be making a slight caramel to add color to it and of course sweetness as well. So once I add that caramel in, I'll add in the sugar also, and we'll blend it while it is warm.
Lemon? When you
Lemon is the last ingredient. So once the wine completely cools down.
So what? How it's reduced, is it?
Yes, so now that it's reduced to 3/4 of the original quantity, we're going to add about 600 grams of sugar. Now sugar is up to you how sweet you like it, but we usually add, the recipe calls for 600 grams. That's what my dad also does. So I'm going to add it while it is warm so that the sugar dissolves. Okay. The key point is while this is warm, you have to make the caramel.
Okay.
So that a cold liquid does not go there, and then you won't get any color.
Okay.
So now that we've mixed the sugar in, we have to make a caramel to add color to the wine, color in that whole body. So here's about 100 grams of sugar. So
how you will consider? So before adding the sugar, we should remember this we're going to add. So accordingly, we should keep the sweet, right?
Correct. Yeah. So to that, I'm just going to add a little of this ginger wine itself to just start it off.
Okay.
With water. So now the color's changed. It's almost reaching that blackjack stage.
Okay.
So once it reaches that stage, I'll add a little ginger wine to this, and then I'll pour this color into the wine.
Okay.
Just a little more. Be careful not to burn yourselves with this, because it's very hot. And the moment you add water to it, it's going to sputter. So now I'm going to add a little water to this. As you can see, it's sputtering, but this is what is going to give that ginger wine its caramel color.
How do you color? It will add on to the
flavor as well. Strain this.
So what we're going to make now?
So this recipe is called, the name of this recipe is Russian toffee.
Russian toffee?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know how it's related to Russia, but this was passed on from my auntie to my dad. So every year during Christmas, it's like a tradition that my dad must make this.
Okay.
And earlier condensed milk was pretty expensive, so we used to have this only during Christmas.
Okay.
Well, now we have it around the year. So this is about 400 grams of condensed milk.
400 ml?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't get the condensed milk, then?
If you don't get the condensed milk, then it's...
Don't make it.
That is one option, but you can start by reducing milk to it.
Milk, okay.
So to this condensed milk, I'm going to add, I know condensed milk is already sweet, but I'm going to add another 100 grams of sugar to it. So this is a time-consuming process. So this is a time-consuming process where you have to keep stirring constantly to prevent it from sticking to the bottom. However, it will color and it will burn slightly like this, but that just adds to the entire flavor.
I think whatever the mistake we do, that's become a part of a recipe, huh?
Yeah, exactly. The first time I saw my dad making this, I thought, okay, maybe he's burnt it, but he said, no, that's all part of it. So I was like, okay, sure.
So, sorry, no more comments then. This is how it will be.
As you can see, it's starting to color now slowly. So I'm going to add some butter to it.
Okay.
So I've cut the butter into cubes. Okay.
no?
Yeah. So this butter is just going to make it even more rich and smooth as you have it. Don't consume Russian toffee then. Have a knife ready so that the moment you pour it in your molds, you should cut it and keep an incision so that when you demold it, it will come out easily.
Okay.
But otherwise, while cutting it after that, it may break up. Chef, I think it's done. You'll have to just test it now and then transfer it.
Okay.
So I'll switch off the range. Big piece here.
Some more?
No, I think it is done. So this is how we traditionally test it, and this is how it shows us that it is done. With a buttered spoon, I'm just going to spread it down.
Okay.
Spread it. So we just top it off with a little butter so that
it doesn't stick.
Yeah, so it doesn't stick. So this has to cool now. Before cooling, you have to do one thing. You have to make incisions. So we're just going to cut it into rustic, incisions, so that later on it won't give us a problem. So now it has to cool, and once it cools, we demold and take it out. For the roast cookies, now we're going to make a batter which is similar to the pancake batter, but using ingredients that we usually find around us, like coconut milk, cashew nuts, and flour and eggs and everything.
Okay.
So, to start off with, I'm going to add 250 grams of all-purpose flour. Here.
Excuse me.
Create a well in the center.
Okay.
And then to which I'm going to add 4 whole eggs.
Yeah. Okay.
So to this I'm going to add about 70 grams of sugar, which is weighed out here. Okay, I'll just reserve that for the end. And then a pinch of salt. Pinch of salt just to bring out the flavor of the other ingredients. Then I'm going to be adding about 2 to 3 ml of vanilla essence. This is a cashew nut paste which is made using a little coconut milk, a fine smooth paste, so that the batter doesn't get lumpy. So I'm just adding about 10 to 12 cashew nuts pasted smooth with some coconut milk. Then this is about 3 grams of baking powder. So be careful not to fly away. And finally, while I whisk it, I'm going to add about 100 ml of coconut milk.
You will not add any water, is it?
So there's no water.
No water.
No water at all. So yeah. So you can see it
should be like a coating consistency.
Yeah, it should coat so that then so that it will hold on to the mold as well.
Okay.
Now that this oil is heated up, we're going to just dip the mold. We're going to dip it in the oil.
Where can we get this mold?
This is found in any local cast iron shop, metal shop. So
okay.
This should get hot. So once it gets hot, once the mold gets hot, it would be able to hold on to the batter which is here.
Okay.
Mold is hot. I'm just going to dab off the excess oil here, and then place it in the batter. 3/4 of the mold.
Okay.
And then I'm going to place it in this. And within 20 seconds, it should fall off.
If it doesn't fall off?
If it doesn't fall off, then you'll have to wait for 25 seconds then. As you can see, it's come out lovely. The moment you dip it into the batter, you will feel it clinging onto the mold.
Okay.
And it's always good to go 3/4 or halfway. 3/4 is the ideal height. And that's how it is.
Excellent.
So for the Kalkals, we're going to start off with 250 grams of wheat flour. Kalkals are made with wheat flour. So that is done. I'm going to be adding about just 15 grams of it as well. So I've taken 250 grams of wheat flour and added about 10 grams of icing sugar. To this I'm going to be adding just a pinch of baking powder, just 2 pinches actually.
Okay.
And a pinch of salt just to bring out the flavor. Now I'm going to be adding the wet ingredients, starting off with 1 whole egg. About 25 ml of condensed milk, like about 2 teaspoons roughly. So once that is there, I'm going to be adding 50 ml of coconut milk.
50 ml is it?
Yeah, 50 ml of coconut milk. And I'm going to add about 20-25 grams of white butter. Melted would be preferable, or solid, anything. So I'm going to add the remaining half after I make the dough. So just go to work this till I form a nice soft dough. Now that this dough is rested, we're going to make a few spears out of them.
Okay.
Like marble size spears. Roll them and keep them on the side. These spears, the pedas. And then I press it against you roll it, you're getting these crevices.
Thanks a lot, Wayne, for sharing your family and your community
Always a
recipe
pleasure,
with
always
us.
a pleasure.
So I think we would like to share this kind of a unique traditional recipes what we used to practice at home. This can be a family recipe or it can be any recipe, but that would be known within only family or a community, right? So if you'd like to share this kind of a recipes, we'll definitely make a video of that, or you can even join us to make that kind of a recipes. For this kind of a special recipe, especially we should thank Wayne. And Wayne, how you enjoyed the session?
It was quite good actually. I mean, usually doing these things at home as a hobby, for recreation. But these recipes, are being forgotten slowly. So at least I should do my duty as a community member and remember this recipe and at least pass it down for about 2 to 3 generations, however it may be.
If we go and check the foods for a Christmas, definitely this would not feature, right?
You're going to get turkey, you're going to get plum cake, you're going to get ham.
So Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas, folks.